Let's talk cheese, and specifically why we as Americans really need to stop worshiping at the Church of Cheeses 7 days a week. Whether you like it or not, we are, as a society, we are addicted to cheese. And it is because cheese is, it's dairy crack is what it is. It is a concentrated source of calories, of saturated fat, of sodium, of cholesterol, and casomorphins that are opiates. To put cheese into perspective, let's talk first about calories. So this 8-ounce glass of milk right here, whole milk, is about 148 calories per glass. If you were to melt this 8 ounces of cheddar cheese and put it into that glass right there, you would have 986 calories. That is almost 7x the amount of calories that are in that glass of milk. So, concentrated source of calories. Next, let's talk fat. This has roughly 8 grams of fat in it. This right here, 81 grams of fat. Almost 10x the amount of fat that this glass of milk has. Next, let's talk saturated fat, because cheese is the #1 source of saturated fat in the American diet. This 8-ounce glass of milk has roughly 5 grams of saturated fat in it. 1 ounce of cheddar cheese has roughly the same amount, 5 grams of saturated fat in it. And most of us are not going to have 1 ounce. We're probably going to have 2 or 3 or 4 ounces. You do the math on that. That's somewhere between, right, 10, 15, 20 grams of saturated fat right there. Next, let's talk cholesterol. This 8-ounce glass of milk has roughly 24 milligrams of cholesterol in it. That's the equivalent of 5 strips of bacon, the same amount of cholesterol. 1 ounce of cheddar cheese is roughly 30 milligrams of cholesterol. Again, you're probably going to have 2 or 3, maybe 4 of these. You do the math, that's 60, 90, or 120 milligrams of dietary cholesterol in it. Next, let's talk sodium. If you take this right here, and you just have 1 1-ounce serving has actually 180 milligrams of sodium in it. So you can see that this is really just a concentrated source of calories, sodium, saturated fat, and then casomorphins. So casomorphins they're produced by the mother cow to keep the baby cow from basically leaving the herd, right? Staying close to mama. And our mother's breast milk makes it as well, but in much lower quantities. But you take cow's milk and you basically turn it into cheese, and now you have a concentrated source of casomorphins that are almost 15x what they are in milk. And our brains go off like a pinball machine because we have receptors for all these opiates, heroin, nicotine, and you love it. The other thing that I don't want to leave out is protein. So this 8-ounce glass of milk has roughly 8 grams of protein in it. This 8 ounces of cheddar cheese has 56 grams of protein in it. And the reason why that's a bad thing is, A, most Americans are protein toxic. They're getting too much protein, and they're getting it from animal sources that there's a real number on our bodies. But secondarily to that, the protein that you're getting in dairy products comes from casein. 86% of it comes from casein, C-A-S-E-I-N, that is a growth accelerator. It's put there by the mother cow to grow that baby cow as fast as possible. And it was really, truly never meant for human consumption. And we don't need things growing, right, especially faster when we're in our 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. Because what it's doing is it's basically fertilizing any dormant tumor and cancer cells that we have lurking in our bodies. And we all have them. And it's little wonder that almost 50% of us men and women are now coming down with some sort of a major cancer in our lifetimes. And that casein has been declared by Colin Campbell in the China study the #1 carcinogen in the American diet. So you can see, for a litany of reasons, we want to stop worshiping at the Church of Cheeses. We all are in an abusive relationship with cheese, each and every one of us. And so, what I would tell you to do is say good riddance, kick that, that cheese out of your life, and tell it to not let the screen door hit you on the way out. All right, go get them.